Hey, welcome to the Popcorn Talk, iTalk Movies. I'm going to be talking with Danny Pudi about his new film, The Tiger Hunter. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's iTalk Movies.
Wow, that's such an epic intro music.
Uh-huh.
Hey guys, welcome to the Popcorn Talk, iTalk Movies. Like I said, we're going to be talking to Danny Pudi about his exciting, fun new film, The Tiger Hunter. He needs a moment to jam out for a second, though. Yeah.
There we go. Get some Grimes going. Coachella time. I'm not there. I'm here.
Yeah.
But I'm
you're
very happy to be here.
vicariously through the music.
Always. I'm vicariously always at Coachella.
Yes. Well, you get all the photos, so it's like you can
You don't
almost
need to be there.
Yeah.
I prefer to experience it like virtually now. And,
Yeah, you know.
I got kids.
You don't even need to be there.
Yeah, I don't even be there.
Exactly.
Well,
welcome.
Thank you so much.
So you have a new film. Why don't you tell me about this new movie?
Sure. It's called The Tiger Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
The world premiere is actually this Thursday at the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival, 7 p.m. There's still tickets available, so if you guys want to see it, come out and check it out.
Opening night film. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, super excited. Very proud to be part of this film. First-time director Lena did an amazing job with this story, which is about an immigrant played by me from India who comes to America to, find opportunity and search for his destiny. And in that journey, he, of course, discovers a number of things. So it's a great story. It's a period piece. It's set in the 1970s, so there's a lot of fun fabric. And it's a really, really wonderful ensemble cast with great actors, Karen David, Iqbal Thiba, Rizwan Manji, a number of people, John Heder. So it's fun. It was a really cool experience.
Did you have to do a lot of work to get into that 70s mode?
I didn't. I've always been sort of obsessed with the 1970s.
Okay.
I guess I have a personal connection to the film because my dad immigrated from India to Chicago, which is what happens in this film, in the 1970s. Both my parents actually immigrated to Chicago in the 70s. My mom came from Poland, and my dad came from India. So it's a little different journey, but it's I think a lot of the pictures I have, early memories, are based on that time period. So for me, it's always shocking when I see pictures of my mom with an afro, or my dad with flared pants, flared trousers. So I've always just been obsessed with that. And, even like in high school, I'd go to thrift stores and make sure I was rocking some bell bottoms. And, the fabrics don't breathe well. Polyester isn't the best breathing fabric, but it looks good. So for me, getting into that character or that time period was just fun. I love the music. It was cool.
Yeah. So it's nice you had kind of source material to really look at.
Yeah, I feel like I connected to it immediately when I read the script, and I met with Lena and Megha Kadakia, the producer of the film. So for me, it was a story I really wanted to be part of right away, just because there was there's a parallel with my life and this story. And at the same time, it's a story made by Indian Americans about Indian American experiences, and I think that was something really special that I haven't had a chance to do, so that was exciting for me.
Nice. And yeah, we do have a photo. It's the staircase one, so we can see some of that fabric, that fantastic outfit.
Look at that short tie. Just almost tipping that belt.
Yeah, that orange too, And the wide tie, very wide.
Right, wide tie and a little guy.
Yeah. And the high-waisted pants.
High-waisted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you think like certain colors don't go together, and then you see a picture and then you're like, yeah, maybe they don't go together. But I think it's about the fit. I think more than anything, I've always been a proponent of the fit more than the actual clothes. It's got to fit well.
Well, I do feel India does a great job of mixing colors that you wouldn't really think of.
Definitely.
And sometimes I feel it works amazingly, and other times you're like, pink and orange is one that I'm like, But
I think you got to just know what works for you and your skin tone.
That too. Totally.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I also feel like, in summer I get a little bit darker. I'm a darker shade of Pudi in the summer. And certain colors just look better on me in the summertime, like
you
greens
look a little
and
darker in the
oranges.
film, yeah?
We shot this in the summertime. It was hot. It was definitely hot.
And where'd you shoot?
We actually shot in a few different locations.
Okay.
We shot in downtown Los Angeles. Most of the film was shot in Los Angeles. And made to believe that it was Chicago.
Good job.
Thank you. It was done amazingly well by Patrice Cochet, the DP, and Lena. And we also shot for about a week in India. So there is the beginning part of the film is actually set in India, like that picture right there.
Yeah,
of me
there we go.
on
The
the
scooter.
motorbike. Yeah, me on the scooter.
And then is the car one from? We got one where you're hanging out of a car. Where's that one from?
That's Los Angeles. That's like, I think, near Thousand Oaks.
Okay. Now, was that a kind of a stunt in a way that you had to sign your waiver, or was that car only going like?
I think I signed a waiver early on saying like, hey,
You're like, I can do it.
Good
Sure.
luck, everything.
Stick out a window. No problem.
That's something you always wanted to do, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the part of the fun of being, you know, on projects like this is that you get to do stuff that normally your wife would yell at you for, or your mom would say, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's what made this exciting. So that was me trying to relive my sort of watching the 80s movies with my grandma.
Okay.
A lot of car chases, watching a lot of Hunter. I don't know if everybody remembers that TV show. Throwback.
And then also, I saw from the trailer you do a little bit of an accent. So what did you tap into to make that authentic and not be a caricature?
I had a dialect coach. He was wonderful. But I also, you know, I think, you know, coming from an Indian American background, it's a accent I've heard throughout my childhood with most of my family, having come from India. That's how they speak.
Yeah.
so I think there was something personal that I my ear was tuned to that as a child. The dialect coach was wonderful. She helped me out a lot, staying consistent, specifically to Sami Malik's story, which was a little different because he was studied in British primary school in India.
Okay.
So and regionally where Sami's from is different from where my family's from, which is southern India. So there's some variation there.
Got it. Yeah, I was just going to ask if he is from anywhere near where your family is from. So not so much.
Not quite. He's more from North India. I guess that would be his. There's a city called Lucknow, which is probably where he's from or was from. And my family's from Andhra Pradesh in the southern India.
Okay. How do you relate to your character, or do you?
I think there's certain ways I relate. I think that early on in the film, Sami has a fun time kind of interacting with his community. Okay. And, everyone kind of knows him. Everyone knows his family, but it's really the legacy of his father that he's dealing with. His father was a very incredible man, played by K.K. Menon, who's an amazing Indian actor. And I think much of his journey is because of the expectations that he has, mainly for himself, of living up to his father was this incredible hero. At the same time, he is in this place where he's essentially outgrown his community. He's from a small town, and he's trying to really look to do something bigger.
Got it.
So he moves, to America, which is where everyone goes, and I think he's fascinated by the idea of cowboys and all that kind of stuff. And so he goes to America to see if he can make it on his own. And I think. For me, I guess, I was born in America. I was born in Chicago. My family immigrated to Chicago. So a lot of sacrifice was made on my behalf. And I think, for Sami as well, his parents sacrificed a lot. His whole village sacrificed to pay for his journey to America. And a lot of sacrifices were made for his schooling, which are these things that I definitely relate to as a product of the immigrant experience. As my family has really ensured that I always was in school, that I graduated, that I did these things because it wasn't just about me; it was about my family, And so I think there's things like that where, as an immigrant, I just related to. I moved to Los Angeles from Chicago. My family was there, and there's all these big sort of moments in my life which are, the stakes aren't quite as high as an immigrant coming here to America, but there's things that I know firsthand from talking to my mom and my dad and my family about how hard the journey was and how difficult it is to say goodbye to your family and your past, not necessarily knowing if you're going to see them again. And little things like I remember as a kid, we would gather on the phone at holidays and whether it was Christmas, and you would pass the phone around because we'd be calling the uncle, back in Poland or, talking to family in India. It was like experiences like that where you realize that there's, an entire family somewhere else living, having this other experience, and you're having this experience, and even though you might never see them, you're connected forever. So that to me is a very special, unique immigrant experience.
What's it like having those two completely different cultures as your background?
It's bizarre. but wonderful. I
Yeah.
think that I'm very lucky is that I get to have that, as part of my story. It's the foreword in the book of me is that two people came from completely opposite parts of the world, met and learned how to speak English together, and my parents met in an English as a second language class in America.
So romantic.
I know. Then they got divorced, so
Oh.
yeah. But they had me. So
There you go.
But I think it's to me that's very special is that I get these complete opposite worlds
Yeah.
to explore and learn about and share. I have these experiences that I can share with people. So. I feel like it's very special. It's unique, and it's a great icebreaker.
I was gonna say, yeah, you have a couple languages under your belt too, of what you can.
I speak Polish, mówię po polsku, but Hindi or Telugu.
You're like, no, not so much.
Sorry.
Now, is the film? The trailer has it in English. Is the whole film in English?
The whole film is in
Okay.
English. There's some Hindi in the film.
Is there like slang, Hindi slang more, or?
There's like I said, the early part of the film is set in India, so there is actually.
Or do they
India.
subtitle it?
We subtitle it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've seen one where it was primarily in English, but there'd be slang words thrown out that weren't subtitled, but you could gather what
you
it
can,
was.
you can get the gist of it. So,
Okay.
but it's just the beginning part of the film, which is set in India before I leave to go to America.
Did you have to learn any to
Couple
catch
words.
up?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was in India for a week, so it was a crash course.
Nice.
But it was awesome. It was such a great experience. So loving, and it was my first time in India. So
Oh,
to me,
wow.
yeah, I know it's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Did
Did anybody talk to you like assuming you could speak the language, and you're like, not so much?
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny. It's like, if when I go to Poland, which is
Yeah.
where some of my family's from, when I go there and I speak Polish to people, they're shocked. They're like, how did you do this? What are you doing?
Yeah.
When did you pick up that skill? And when I went to India, like it was almost like no one paid any attention. They're just like, he's just another one of us. But for me, it was like the immediate sort of connection to people being like, wow, I've never been surrounded by this many brown people in my life, and I felt so like I don't know. I just felt like I was soaring. It was beautiful. I loved it.
Well, because you're also very tall. I was gonna say, how was your
Yeah.
height to some of the people there?
It was tall,
Okay.
Most Indian people aren't that tall. I mean, maybe in the north they are, but where my
Yeah.
family's from, they're pretty short. My dad's about 5'8", 5'9". I think that's probably the Polish side of my family, which is pretty tall.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely was peering over a lot of people's heads. Yeah.
Did anybody recognize you over there from your American television shows and films?
I don't think so. No. People are preoccupied with other things, I'm sure. But at the same time, I don't think Community is really reached in India.
Okay.
Some of the other things I don't think have really.
Or even Captain America.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. No, I have to like really make it as a Bollywood star. That's like.
Oh, there you go.
That's the next
Ready
skill.
to bust out your dancing
Yeah.
and lip syncing
Oh,
skills.
yeah, you'll see some dancing in this film.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I'm
good.
not the one doing it.
Oh,
I know, but
should
I
have been
want
a
to.
segment in the credits. Been like, keep watching.
I
and
know.
sing.
I wanted to. I was ready to do it. I stretched every day, hoping that they would throw together some kind of Bollywood dance sequence. But
Bonus material for the DVD.
there we go.
Yeah.
There's still time.
Yeah.
Lena, Mega, there's still time.
And actually, speaking of languages and the experience, we do have a little clip from the film. Why don't you lead us in a little bit on this one? So this is, you've come to America, yeah?
Yeah.
In this clip?
So this is my character Sammy comes to America. Things don't necessarily go the way he planned out, and he is forced to look for a new place to stay. Thankfully, this character by the name of Babu, played by Rizwan Manji, very funny, takes him in, and this is where I get to meet all my new roommates and see where I'm going to be staying.
Fun. Yeah, let's take a look.
How many people actually live here?
11, maybe 13.
13.
And every man here have cousins.
And cousins.
Where does everyone sleep?
I love your facial expression there.
It's real terror right there. It's very real terror. It wasn't hard to get to that moment. That's Karthik on one side, Parvesh on the other. Those are my very funny roommates. They were all amazing. They'll be at the premiere this Thursday.
Oh, yay.
And that was probably one of the hotter days we've ever had on set. So each one of us was emanating some wonderful odors.
Nice. Got real close and personal with everybody, huh?
We got real close. It was actually fun talking to everyone about like how many people had similar stories from their parents in terms of their experiences. And, you know, Mayank, one of the actors, I think his dad, when he immigrated to America, had like 5 roommates. There was a number of like stories like that where people actually connected to it personally. So for us, it was like, I don't know, everyone was having these sort of personal moments to the story.
Yeah. And then, you know, something kind of cool I found that you guys did a Kickstarter with this film. So speaking of community and coming together, what was that like, and how was that process? Why Kickstarter?
I think the film started on Kickstarter,
Okay.
and I believe there was over like 800 supporters initially, so thank you. We met a number of them during shooting of the film. They came to set to visit, and you know, this is Lena's first film. It's yeah, you know, and I think that seemed like a really good place to start, you know, to kind of, and especially it's a period piece. It was a little difficult to sell. So thankfully there was a lot of great supporters right away. And, you know, I think it kind of led to the spirit of this film from the beginning was like, this is a film for all of us kind of thing. And, so it was fun. It made us all like very connected to a lot of random people. Everyone felt involved. There was just a lot of support from the community, which was really great.
Nice. And then you also executive produce on the film?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't involved like Lena and Mega Kadakia, but I knew right away I really wanted to be involved in terms of getting this story made and making sure that like people could see it. Just because I thought it was such a fun story. It's sweet. This is you know, this is a story, like I said before, that's made by Indian Americans. It's directed by an Indian American, produced, starring an amazing cast of characters, and I think it tells like a story that is like very close to a lot of people's hearts right now. So I just wanted to make sure that you know, if whatever I could do to help, really whatever I could do to help to get it out.
Well, and it's a comedy, which, you know, anybody can relate to a comedy.
I think so. Yeah, I think there's parts of it that most people should be able to relate to. If not, and I think that's the nice thing about this too, is that there's parts of this that not only you can relate to, but also your parents. We're talking about the 70s, right?
Yeah.
So that's the goal. That's the goal, is that, you know, everyone can take something out of this film.
Sure. And you guys recently had a screening where all the cast was able to catch it with some other guests as well?
Yes. We had our first screening at IFLA, Indian Film Festival of Los Angeles, who we're all really close with, and they were very kind letting us have the special screening there. And it was the first time I actually got to see the finished product of the film.
What was that like?
Terrifying. But it was great. And
why were you terrified?
It's always scary when you see yourself. You know, every day when I wake up and look in the mirror, I'm terrified. So imagine doing that on a larger screen in front of other people. It's it was really fun though, and it was nice to be there with everybody. It was our first chance to kind of get back together, and you know, we shot this film about 1.5 years ago, so parts of it you forget, you know.
Sure.
And so it was nice to be reminded of what we did and be really like kind of just surprised in a great way at what we all, you know, put together.
And this was the first like picture lock you had seen of it, so like the final version.
With the music, you know, just everything put together. So it was a really treat. And so yeah, now the world premiere is actually this Thursday,
which is exciting as well.
Super exciting. You know, like I said, the first time is like a shock. This time I'll be able to actually like, I believe I'll really enjoy the film this time.
Yeah.
And we all get to kind of get over that initial shock and just kind of celebrate. And this one, everyone will be there, like the whole crew. And, you know, we had an amazing crew: Michael Fitzgerald, production designer; Justin Seymour, the costume designer. I mean, it's a period piece set in the 70s, and I think they did a great job of, you know, figuring out the look of the film, especially for a low-budget film, which this was.
It doesn't look like one from the clips I've seen.
And that's how amazing they did.
Really good.
They did a great job, thank you, of doing that, making it look good, stretching the dollar. So they'll all be there, which I'm excited about. Just seeing everybody kind of back together again. It'll be cool.
Family reunion.
I know. Seeing who shows up in a wig and polyester.
Yeah. There you go. Are you going to be rocking your 70s suit for the premiere?
No.
You're like... You're like, only for filming.
Yeah, it was. I left it all there.
Yeah.
I did get to keep the last shirt that I wore when I was hanging out of that car window.
Yeah.
They let me keep that shirt, which is pretty cool.
Did you get all dirty from the air or something? And they're like, never mind, just keep it.
I think I dry cleaned it right away.
Oh, okay.
I had to get the soot out. I had to get it out.
Get that California air, LA air off of it. It's like, you don't trust
Smog.
air you can't see.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
That's a little more Inland Empire, but still.
Oh man, I just look at my windowsill. You just do a little one of these and one of these,
Yeah.
and we're all gonna be hurting in a couple of years.
You know. And then how was the reception at the screening so far? I mean, and did you get any interesting comments from friends and family seeing it? Or?
So far, just my wife has seen it. So,
Okay.
in terms of like friends and family, and she really enjoyed it, right, Bridget? You did, right? You
should hope she did, right?
You don't have to tell me right now. I believe you did. So I don't know, like that. It's just kind of starting to come out, the journey of this film. World premieres this Thursday, and then. That's the next step is sort of like, getting distribution, hopefully. And then hopefully there'll be a limited theatrical release that people can go see in theaters near them. And so I believe this is kind of just the first step in the journey of this film. Or I guess maybe the second step. The first step was doing the film.
I was testing the water. Now this is the big leap.
This is the big leap, yeah. So I'm excited to see people's reactions. So far, everyone that I've been working with and talking to, we're all really excited about what we put together.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Now, talking about the process of the acting in it, how was the comedic process? Because there are a lot of comedic actors in this. Yeah. How was that process?
It was awesome. I mean, I think there was the great thing about this film is that there's a lot of great actors, and in terms of like the world, there's a whole world where I have this relationship with Karen David, who's an
I was gonna say, sorry to cut you off. I'm like, wait, we do have a really cute photo of you two together. Yep, that one.
There's the lovely Karen David.
Aw. So it's
beautiful.
also a romance as well, a little bit?
Yeah. So the story's really about his journey to find love, and specifically with Karen, who is an amazing actor, and she'll be there for the premiere as well. So, my journey with Karen was incredible because working with her, she's amazing, very, very giving. It was so easy, and it just felt very natural. And in the movie, we play basically like best friends since childhood, And so over time, it sort of develops, But I think from my early days, I've always wanted to marry Karen in the film, right?
Yeah, I like the trailer. Yeah, it says something like, I've always wanted to marry her. Is that too much trouble? Or?
No, I just kind of knew. And I think that's Sammy. He just knows, when he finds something he likes, he knows, But of course, it's not that easy, and we have some difficulties, and, Sammy makes some mistakes. So, but working with Karen was incredible. So easy. She's a wonderful, wonderful actor. So that was fun. And then I also had this world with the roommates.
The guys.
With the guys, like my buddies. And they were so many amazing comedic actors, just wonderful actors. And so that was like just fun to kind of go back and forth and bounce between these two worlds. And, and then there's John Heder at work and Sam Page, who's also awesome, and like a number of actors there. So it was just fun because I got to like jump into all these worlds, and each one of them was a whole new experience. But I thought everyone was tremendous, so it was fun.
Was there any trouble of like holding in the laughter while you guys were doing stuff, or was it kind of like y'all got it under control?
Yeah, just like, normal. Like you're going to laugh sometimes and things are going to get a little out of hand, which is fun because, you might ruin that take, but then the next take's going to be great. I hope. Yeah. So it was fun. I had to do one scene where I had to keep like scratching Parvez China's chest hair during a dream.
Oh my.
Yeah. So it's hard to keep a straight face during that.
Sure.
In real life and in my fake life.
Oh, there you go.
So,
he's a charmingly funny man.
He's a very funny man. And I think his wig in particular, him in that wig, was very hard. And I've known Parvez forever. And that's another thing about this film is a lot of these actors I've worked with.
Well, that must have been nice.
And so it's cool. Like a lot of us had familiarity prior to the film. So it was fun for us. Every day we would get lunch together, and it was just like, we were just happy that we were getting a chance to work together again.
Actually, thinking of that, of like going to get lunch, was it ever with doing accents? Because everybody's like the different immigrants. Was it hard for anybody to be like, you finished your take and then turn on, turn off, like going out, or did you guys ever mess with people and kept it on, or?
I think we kind of played with accents every once in a while, but. Yeah, because we're all Indian and Indian American, we've all had this accent in our heads for such a long time.
Yeah,
I think many of us were like, I don't know if I want to hear my auntie or my uncle. Again, but yeah, it was every once in a while you play with it. Yeah,
sure. I think. Did that other clip come through? Oh, I like this photo too. Is this this is kind of your character's experience in America of checking out the locale.
Yeah, it's my first escalator ride right there.
Oh yeah, on the trailer, people go watch the trailer. It's very funny. I like the part where you're starting to go on the escalator. It's like, ooh, it moves.
Yeah. It's like you forget sometimes that these things weren't around forever. You know, and so there's all kinds of stuff is popping out.
The car one, yeah. Here we go.
One right there?
So this one, since we didn't show it to Danny real quick before. This one, it looks like you guys are trying to get into a car to take a photo for your friend.
Yes.
But it's not exactly what it all appears to be.
No. So Rizwan, his character Babu, is really obsessed with this car. Specifically, he's obsessed with Dukes of Hazzard. Generally,
it's the Duke's orange.
It's generally, and his idea of making it in America is being able to afford a car like that. In some ways, you know, being able to get a car like that, and that was such for him this symbol of prosperity. So. He saw this car and really wanted to take a picture of himself, and it kind of escalates from there.
Oh, let's see if we can play that.
Okay, you need some help?
Looking good. Good view right here.
Thank you, Alex. I've been needing to document this to send it home to my family.
Hey! Get out of the car, man! I told you before!
I'm still happy, Alex. Take the picture. Take the picture, guys.
This is your friend?
Take the picture, guys. Take the picture. Take the picture, guys. Take the picture. Come on, take the picture.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Let's go.
Take the picture!
We got John Peter over there too.
Yeah, I think he's wearing my favorite outfit in the film right there.
That light blue
That
suit.
powder blue.
Yeah.
We bonded over that. He's a huge fan of 70s
Ooh, and the plaid
clothing.
pants.
You know?
Nice.
Yeah. So I think he told me at one point that was his friend's car in the film. It wasn't his friend's car.
It doesn't look like it was his
Buddies, you know, buddies just mess with each other. They've done that in the 70s. They do it in the 80s. They do it today.
Did you guys do any kind of pranks or jokes around on set, or?
I'm trying to think if we did anything like inappropriate. If we did, I'm sure we did. Probably not allowed to talk about it on Popcorn Talk.
There you go. You're like, that's for the R-rated show.
But yeah, I think we messed with each other the way we normally do.
Yeah. Was there a lot of improv on set, or was it more just based on the script?
There was some.
Okay.
You know, I think when the roommates got together, there was a natural sort of tendency to kind of like, you know, chime in here and there. But I think Lena was very structured about what she wanted to get. We also had a very limited time frame in terms of like getting this shot, and we accomplished it magically. Because like I said, we had to shoot in Los Angeles for like 3 weeks and then a week in India. So
How many days total?
maybe
Like-
20, something
okay.
like that.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah. And not much more than that. So it was a fast time frame. So I think we were essentially just trying to make sure we got the scene. And but you know, there was a little bit of flexibility there. So
Okay.
before every scene, we made sure that kind of like if there was a moment that called for something kind of fun and spontaneous, I guess we allowed it.
Okay. And what was it like working with Lena as a first-time director?
Amazing. I mean, she was incredible. Like I said, for a first-time director, I'm just, you know, I was just so impressed and so happy to work with her. She did just a wonderful job, and I knew right away from meeting with her the first time she has such a clear vision and about what she wanted to say with this story. So I was just so happy to get a chance to work with her.
Nice. And I was reading it was somewhat inspired by her own family as well.
Yeah, yeah. So same thing with her dad, and I think you know, there was moments in this film where I was so happy to have her next to me. Just, you know, even like, you know, in the film I played an aspiring engineer, and you know, I don't have an engineering background, but Lena's dad did, you know, and there was like, she even put me in touch with a real engineer, a microwave engineer specifically, in terms of researching the role. So there was things like that where, like I said, there's a personal touch to this film that many of the people had, and Lena especially, which I think why she wanted to tell this story. So it made the experience a lot easier.
So besides the engineering research, was there any other prep that you did prior to the movie?
You know, I just kind of like talked to my family.
Sure.
You know, I guess clarified some stories, reminded myself of what it was like. I talked to my mom, I talked to my dad about what it was like to say goodbye to your families when you left. Because both my parents came here roughly the same age as Sammy, and weren't sure necessarily if they were going to go back to their countries, to their respective countries. And that to me seemed like the biggest biggest thing to explore. That's a moment that, you know, I'm not familiar with, you know, to leave everything behind, everything you know, and truly start over brand new. So that to me, at the same time, that was so exciting for me to kind of explore and feel that. I can only imagine how hard it was. And so that was something I really wanted to make sure I talked to my family about and think about.
That must have helped, so you could kind of channel that into your performance and give it that groundedness. Yeah.
I think it's just being reminded of that, being reminded of how, you know, how much of your journey is dependent upon the journeys that came before you, and how much also, like, you know, for our families, you know, how you know, how much sacrifice has gone into everything that we've done, and how important that sacrifice is, and how important the idea of success is, but at the same time, how important the idea of remaining family, and, like, you know, like tradition, all that kind of stuff is that is important, you know, and it's especially important to immigrant families. So I just wanted to, like, remind myself of you know, growing up, what that was like, and you know, not forgetting, like, who I was back when I was a kid, and who my parents were when they were kids, before they embarked on this journey, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of levels to the movie besides just like one thing. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, I think it's like, you know, it's, you forget again too, like, you know, in the immigrant story, it's like, you know, you come to America to, you know, in hope for a better life for you, for your family. But at the same time, every immigrant story begins somewhere else, you know, and it involves some leaving things behind, and some things you don't want to leave behind, and some things maybe are worth hanging on to. And I think that's definitely a message in this film, is like certain things that I think Sammy goes through is, you know, remembering the things that are worth hanging on to. Even though he sets out to America to achieve great things and to become, you know, a great engineer, there are some things that are worth hanging on to. And I think it's, you know, sometimes it's been glamorized that you leave your country to come and search for better things, and everything just works out. You know, I think you'll see in Sammy's journey that everything doesn't necessarily work out, you know, but he learns a lot about himself. He also learns a lot about himself, a lot of things he didn't know he already had, you know, prior to his journey.
And then actually I was going to ask too, did you have much time as actors to prep before the shoot with Lena, or did you all have to dive right in?
We didn't really have that much time, and we had a couple days of rehearsal.
Okay.
You know, I got to work with Lena and Mega after I met with them, and in terms of just kind of thinking about the script and in some of the casting process, but overall it was a pretty fast process. We kind of got to it right away.
Yeah.
So again, it's a lower budget film, so we didn't really have the luxury of a lot of time, you know, but we had enough, which was I'm very thankful for. We had enough to really put together something really cool.
And then how did you hear about the project in the first place?
How did I hear about the project in the first place? I think it just kind of came through. I was sent the script and asked what I thought about it, and then there was a meeting set up where I met with Lena and Mega, and I told them how excited I was about it and how I really wanted it to be part of the story, and then hoping that somehow they would agree. And I think it turns out that Lena and Mega agreed, and we both had a great sort of I guess idea of what we wanted to say in the film. So kind of I guess that was my journey into the film. How
does it feel to play like the leading man in this film, and versus other roles where maybe you're not quite as charming and nice?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, definitely a new experience for me, which is part of another. This is, I guess, another reason why I wanted to be involved in the film, is because this was a new challenge for me. You know, I'd never played a lead role in a film, and so that was exciting for me. I knew it was a bigger challenge, so I wanted to try that. And like I said, it was very exciting, and it was fun, and it was a new challenge being involved in every scene versus being like, I got 2 scenes and I get a break where I get to go, you know. Have some coffee, maybe get some Twizzlers, and learn some lines and get ready for my next scene. This one, we were on like all the time. I was very involved, but that was really exciting for me because I love working. I love being involved and creating something from beginning to end, and kind of like tracking the journey throughout that. So it was just fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a fun experience.
Mm-hmm.
Were there ever any happy accidents on set?
I would say the entire shoot in India was a happy accident. I would say I'd say
do tell.
just everything about it. I mean, I knew we were shooting in India, but when we got there, it was just very like a different world, and we only had like 4 days to shoot everything, and we just got it, and we were shooting in these markets in Mumbai, and I mean, it was just so active and full of life, and I just couldn't believe we were actually getting everything done, and it was just amazing. It was just such a wild trip. I mean, riding the moped through a market in Mumbai was like it was one of the most terrifying but exciting things I've ever done. I just couldn't believe it. We got it. It was awesome.
Did you know how to drive a moped before this?
I did. So yeah,
Oh,
Lena
okay,
and Mega
good.
asked me right away. I was like, "Can you drive a moped?" Because that's like the opening shot of the film, and I was like, "You're in luck. Not only can I drive a moped, I have a Vespa,
There you go.
and I love mopeds. Surprise!" So that was exciting for me. So to ride a moped in India was a trip.
Did the film shoot get a lot of attention while while you were filming, or did most people be like, whatever?
Yeah, most
Just
people were
people
like,
with
whatever.
cameras.
I think they realized right away I wasn't a Bollywood star, so they were just like, I don't know you? Okay,
it's
forget
not
it.
Shah Rukh
Forget
Khan.
it. No,
Keep
it's okay.
walking.
Not Shah Rukh Khan. No, keep going.
That's pretty funny. Were there any difficulties in the process of filmmaking? Because I know you said it's a low budget film, but were there any particular challenges that you had to overcome as the executive producer or as actor?
I think these are challenges everyone faces. I think it doesn't matter like what, I guess, level it is. You always want more time. I feel like time is you're always fighting that.
Yeah.
In terms of like other difficulties, not really. For a story like this, I think that we were just very lucky. Everything just sort of worked out in a good way, and I enjoyed the experience. Time is something that you could always want more of, but I don't know if necessarily that would have like helped us. I just think it's something that it gives you a little bit more opportunity to think about certain things.
Breathing room.
Yeah, and I think with like sometimes when you're like, oh, we have so many wonderful actors that we could just, if we could riff on this scene for a little bit, like with the roommates, if we could just play in a scene for an hour, we could, because we could have kept rolling for hours with the roommates and just been like, oh, okay, let's just riff on polyester, or let's riff on whatever it is, and so that's something that would have been cool. But I'm lucky I didn't have to wear a wig. I think that's another game you could play when you watch this film. You could look at all the actors and say
Who's wearing wigs?
who's wearing a wig.
Did you grow out your hair for the film?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't. Like I said, I didn't have to wear a wig, so that was nice. I didn't have to sweat too much. That's it. I mean, I would have loved to spend more time in India.
Yeah, I was going to ask,
Yeah.
did you get any leisure time since it was your first time in India, or were you mainly working and then you had to come back?
So Karen and I got to go to India together, which was awesome because I got a buddy to hang out with there, and we got to kind of, we went
nice.
sari shopping, so that was really cool. We only had like a day and a half off, and then we had to
that's not really
really
enough.
wasn't by the time jet lag and everything. So the experience was amazing. I would have it would have been nice to have like a couple more days off so I could like go visit family and stuff, but it was still for a first experience, and just to be able to shoot this film in India, which I think adds so much to the film, the look, the feel of it. I think it was so important. So I'm just so happy we did it.
So do you think you'll be going back to India anytime soon then, now that you've
I'm hoping
done your
to.
initial?
Yeah, I'm hoping to. Yeah, I mean, my family, I have so many cousins that live there. My grandma lives there. A lot of aunties, uncles. So I'm hoping to at some point. It's
Means
just,
you'll get a lot of food.
I'll get fed. I'll get fed. They don't mess around, man. I'll get my dose of fix, which would be good.
Oh yeah, how was the food over in India?
It was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
it was amazing. I mean, like, people say like, oh, you're gonna get sick and all this stuff. I got lucky, did not get sick.
That's good.
But it was incredible. I love Indian food, so that it wasn't like I was eating Indian food for the first time. But the Indian food is truly great there. It's just so great. It's so
I
good.
should hope so. If it's
Right?
It's
It's India. But it was wonderful. The people are great. It was just such a fun process. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to Tiger Hunter 2.
There you go. Ooh.
I'm kidding. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, no, just
I don't know.
Did you have much local crew when you filmed in India, or was most of the crew flown out, or a mix?
There was a very small crew, like a skeleton crew, that came from the
Okay.
United States to India. Everybody, we used a producing team that I believe did the Lunchbox in India. So we had a really great team over there. But yeah, like I said, I mean, Karen and I were the only actors from the U.S. to go to
Okay.
India. So yeah, like I said, it was a small group. Got to meet a lot of new people there. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I want to go back so bad.
Nice.
I know.
And we're actually almost towards the end of the time.
Oh.
Do you have anything you want to share about the film, or
I'm trying to think if there's anything like
other memories, stories?
I mean, you know, from the beginning of this film, like the first table read of this film, we met at this production house in Hollywood, and it was actually with a woman who led this workshop. In addition with Lena, where we got to really kind of get into our characters. So like the very first day of the table read, we met people by doing all this exploration of the physical space around us and character exploration. So it was such a unique process from day one, you know? So I knew it was gonna be a different experience. But the best part about it is that everyone was game. We were just all like, we're doing this. I'm staring at Karen and David, and we're both doing like flying V's, you know? Looking at Parvesh, we're both locking eyes, you know? We're kind of digging in. We're like, you know, barefoot running around this wooden floor in Hollywood before we had even said like, hey, how's it going? I'm Danny. Very nice to meet you. I'm gonna be playing Sammy. What's your name? Oh, okay. No, we weren't doing that. We were running around, diving, staring at each other's eyes,
what's up
doing
with
these
the
kind of
V's?
things. I don't know. It was just sort of this like this exercise, which was awesome. I think it physically and emotionally opened all of us up. It bonded us in this very cool, different way. But I think that was kind of like the first step of this journey, and then it led to all of us having, I guess, this like basically this framework for. That this film wasn't just a film where everyone's just going to show up and just say the lines and then peace out, you know. This was a film where we were like trying to find different ways of doing things, different ways of telling a story very familiar to us. So that was really cool.
So kind of a collaborative process a bit too?
Very, yeah, very. I think it was like a very much an acknowledgement of like, I see you, you see me, and we're all here together doing this. So don't blow it.
Actually, now that you mentioned the warm-up kind of thing you did you change any physicality did you do any sort of physicality stuff for your character, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a tendency to slouch. I don't think Sammy does. I mean, as you can see, I'm looking at myself right now and I'm realizing like, oh yeah, come on, get it together. Get it together. There's not a lot of lumbar support here, so gotta get it together. But yeah, I think I start with my physicality with most of the roles I play. That's kind of where I like to start. So I think with Sammy, he definitely stands straight, presents himself well. He's a very confident person, so I think that comes easy to him. You know, I think he's been told from a very early age what is proper and what is not. And so I think versus me, I think I was just like, you know, I'm a rascal. You know. So
do you feel then, because you mentioned that, do you feel you work your characters kind of inside out, like the physicality of how you are kind of lends to how the character behaves?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's a part of it. You know,
of the process.
It's just part of it, just kind of like anything else. You know, but yeah, I like to start that way. I like to kind of, it helps me right away lock into that this is another way of looking at things. This is another way of feeling things, and it's a sort of an immediate reminder that you know, that I am, you know, telling someone else's story.
Well, even just the wardrobe can help adjust how you are. And
oh yeah, give me a fake mustache any day, like right away. I'm like locked in. No, but yeah, that helps. I think all those things help, you know, and I think that's the nice thing about a period piece is it gives you that you know, it's like a nice like groundwork for like, here, these are some things you could do to help you kind of like tap into that time, and, you know, make you feel like you're in a different place. Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Of course. It's nice to see you. I'm so glad you were able to make it.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you should totally go check out The Tiger Hunter, which will be at the Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival this coming up Thursday, which is April 21st at 7 p.m. You can go get your tickets online. Pretty much just look up Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival and you'll find it and get the tickets right now, because it's an opening night gala and film, which is exciting. Danny's going to be there. The crew's going to be there. So you don't want to miss it. Again, this is Popcorn Talk, I Talk Movies. My name's Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D. Lane. Oh, yes, Danny, please tell people where they can find you.
At Danny Pudi on Twitter. And what's the Tiger Hunter film? At
the Tiger Hunter film, yes.
Yeah.
And is there any other projects you want to mention coming up, or pretty much the film? Go see it.
Go film. Go see it.
Right.
Let's see the film. Go see it. And,
good.
you know, when the Smurfs come out, go see that too.
Oh, yes, I saw that was on your thing, doing the voice. That's exciting. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, iTunes, give us 5 stars, and yeah, please leave comments and follow the Popcorn Talk online for all movie news and everything. Also, AfterBuzz, our other network, and yeah, just lots of cool stuff to be up to date and be in the know. Again, thank you so much coming in, Danny, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Bill Spita, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.